Couchmills here, coming at you with a brand new Valorant video. And in this video, we gotta break down the new MAGE controller leaks, because all the abilities got revealed, and they got leaked pretty early, and they're freaking nuts. This is going to be an incredible character that is going to change the meta, I promise you that. And we're gonna break down all their abilities, so let's waste no more time and jump right in. But we are excited to introduce you to our brand new sponsorship, Outplayed. Now, Outplayed is the ultimate video capturing app for gamers, and you're gonna be able to automatically capture your best moments and biggest plays, and even anything else with just the press of a button. Whether it's an ace, a sick ult, or maybe you completely whiffed and you wanna share it with your friends, Outplayed makes sure you never miss an interesting moment, and then you can share it very easily with Discord, YouTube, or anywhere else. On top of that, there's a built-in video editor, so you can edit your videos from within the app, meaning you can record and output a ton of content, sending it to your friends, building up your channel, or anything else. Outplayed supports over 300 games, so what are you waiting for? Go check it out right now in the download links below. Now, we all know that the new character is codenamed MAGE, and we don't have the official name of the character, but we have all of the abilities, which is even freaking better. And this is confirmed to be a controller character, and this character is very, very interesting. In a lot of ways, it's going to compete directly with Viper, but in many ways, it's completely unique as a controller character and even just a character in the entire game. So let's jump right in. First off is Vision Taker. The ability is going to be something you equip, and you're equipping a distortion wall launcher. You're going to fire to create a small line of distortion. Enemies will get briefly blinded if they walk through. So this is the first thing. It is going to be some sort of wall that allows you to deny LOS, and that distortion means that they are going to have a hard time seeing, or they're not going to be able to see through, and if enemies push through it, they're going to be briefly blinded. So it's not only going to be LOS denial, but it's going to prevent enemies from pushing through it. Think of like a mini Viper wall that actually punishes enemies even more so for trying to push through that thing, because if you push through it and you get blinded, that's gonna freaking suck. That being said, it is going to be a small line, so we don't know exactly how big it is right now, and that's gonna really matter. Depending on how big it is going to really change on how it's gonna be used. So that's something that we have no idea at this point, but as of course more leaks come out and things like that, we'll know exactly the full ramifications of this. But the interesting thing is, this is along the lines of a line smoker, not a dome smoker. Remember, Brim and Omen are dome smokers where they can smoke single targets. This character is looking to be similar to Viper, more similar anyways. But we're not done yet. Let's talk about the next ability, Tartarus Pit. Now, Tartarus Pit is something you are going to equip. You equip a Tartarus Charger. You get a fire to launch a shot that deals some damage and slows. So it's going to be a little bit of, you know, I guess a slow orb mixed with the molly. So it's probably not going to do as much damage as a molly, and maybe not slow as much as a slow orb or something like that. But it is a way for you to stall out more. And this is going to make this character really good at stalling and delaying points. If you're holding a point, not only can you set up a wall that enemies don't want to push through because they'll get blinded, but also you're going to be able to use your Tartarus Pit to, you know, deal damage and slow them. If you take damage and you get slowed, you're not going to push through that. Like, it's going to stop enemies in their tracks. So really good at delaying and stalling out these two abilities so far. Next up is the most interesting ability on the character, in my personal opinion, and it's called Bubble. Now, Bubble is an equipped. You equip Bubble, and you're going to enter into a phase state to place down a bubble by pressing the ability key. Now, when you activate it, you're going to create an impenetrable bubble. Bullets cannot pass through this bubble. Now, we have no idea exactly how big this bubble is going to be, but it is important to realize that it says bullets cannot pass through, as in neither bullets from your team or the enemy. And another thing that is pretty interesting about this ability is that it's a bubble, right? Which means it's going to be see-through, which is very interesting. It's almost like a denial, like you can't shoot someone, but you can see someone. Because we keep seeing these smokes, right? These smokes that come up and these barriers that come up with a lot of these controller characters that are basically just LOS denial, line of sight denial, right? But imagine something that is more akin to just damage denial. Like, imagine a Viper wall. This is not what this ability is, but hypothetically, a Viper wall that was see-through, but neither team could shoot through it. Or like an Astra wall that was, you know, translucent. Wouldn't that be very interesting? Because you could see exactly where the enemies are, but at the same time, you can't shoot them if you're on the other side of the wall. That's kind of what bubble does. It puts you in this weird situation where you can bubble off an enemy. They can see you, they can see what you're doing, but they can't shoot you, and you can't shoot them either. But that can allow you to move from one location to the next, get onto site, and it's gonna really depend on how big bubble is. That's gonna be a big part of this. We don't exactly know how big this ability is, but it's very interesting, and it's almost shield-esque in a way. Not quite to that regard, I'm guessing. It seems like you're gonna be able to place this, you know, somewhere around you, and it's going to basically just be an obstruction that you could see through, but you can't shoot through, which is cool because you just create obstructions on the map that you can work around, enter point around, and it's gonna be really interesting. Depending on how big this thing is, it's really gonna dictate exactly how powerful it is. I'm really excited for this type of ability, but I'm also scared because it could be completely busted. But yeah, I really want to hear your opinion about it. It's really, really interesting for sure. Now, the last ability that we got to talk about is the Golem ability, which is the ultimate, of course. Now, Golem is another equip. This is just like equip.character. And what the Golem ability does is it's a doll that you throw down, and any teammates around it will get a regeneration buff. So they'll start healing, which is just crazy. It's like a universal heal for your team around it. Think like a sky heal for your entire team. That's what it seems like it is. And then enemies that are around will get a decay buff. So that's really interesting. It's something that you could use both to help your team or to hurt enemies. We don't know exactly how big or far it reaches, but it's probably something that reaches pretty far. And yeah, it just seems like a pretty interesting ability. A doll that you can throw. I wonder how far you can throw. That's really going to also dictate exactly how aggressive you could be with this ability. But I do think just having an ultimate that can heal up your team is just pretty cool, especially on rounds where you have like 2 or 3 people that are weak. Being able to pop this ultimate, heal everyone back, it's going to basically guarantee you that round in a situation where you might get clutched up. So it definitely seems interesting, but it doesn't seem as overwhelming as some of the other ultimates that we've been seeing lately, like Chamber, very unique ultimate, Fade, game-changing ultimate. These are ultimates that seem a little bit more powerful, but the rest of this character's kit is so damn powerful that I don't necessarily think that they need a ridiculous ult. I also wonder if the Golem doll is destroyable. That's going to be something that is interesting as well. But I'm going to say it right here. This character is one of the wildest characters they have added in a while. The abilities are just really, really crazy, especially that bubble. I am very, very hesitant. I don't know if we're going to just kind of get bubble and say, hey, this is no big deal, or if it's going to completely change Valorant. I mean, there's a ton of abilities from other first-person shooters that Riot has not introduced, right? Shield type abilities is a big one. Think Gibby from freaking Apex Legends. Think just shielding from Overwatch. Think of Bubble Shield from Halo. These are just some examples of these type of translucent shield things that can be used to huge effects. And almost every single time they're introduced, they're very, very powerful. And it's basically not been introduced into Valorant yet until now. At least that's what it seems like Bubble is. But I'm incredibly curious about how they're going to execute it and balance it in a game like this. And I'm a little bit worried about the power creep in the game, adding crazy abilities with experimentation, but I'm also really excited. Viper is one of those dominant characters, and she's going to get some competition soon. So let me know how you feel about this. Let me know what you think, and give me some insight into the character in your own words. Thank you so much for coming by, and I'll see you next time.